Welcome to Coffee with Janis and Karen. It's so good to be back.
It really is.
Yeah, we've had a little sickness and Christmas and just busy time, and so now things are settling back down a little bit, and here we are.
Yay.
And so Karen, I'm going to let you kick us off and kind of tell everybody what we're going to be talking about. We'll probably do a little series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this has been on our hearts for some time.
Yes.
And we wanted to do a series on prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're calling it the mystery of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Because so much of prayer has always been to me kind of mysterious. And then the more I learn and the more I grow, I feel like there's so much more to learn.
I think so.
And to grow.
Yeah.
And so this is the introduction to the mystery of prayer, and we're going to talk a little bit about as children growing up in church, what our concepts were. And so what was it that you said, or was it?
Well, I think that you should start us off, Karen, first in what your idea or your concept of prayer was when you were.
Well, one thing I remember specifically about prayer was Brother Joe praying. Now, Brother Joe was an older preacher at our church, probably a member of that church.
I think so.
And he led our family to Christ.
Right.
And so, anyway, he always kind of held a special place, you know. And so...
You've written a song about him.
I did.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, but... I remember at the end of the service, whenever they would ask Brother Joe to dismiss us in prayer, I would be like, because he prayed so long.
Comes.
I know. I'm like, here we were just about ready to go. We've got to eat lunch.
Right.
And they asked Brother Joe to pray. Don't they know? Why would they do that? I felt like, I have more sense than they do asking somebody to dismiss in prayer who's going to pray that long. So I kind of equated then being able to pray a long time with correct prayer.
Or how spiritual you were, maybe.
And so it bothered me because I couldn't pray a long time. Because I would be, this is what I want to say, and I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was something I was a little bit confused about. And I thought, then later as an adult, I thought, it's people who like to talk a lot can pray longer.
Right.
And I thought, I don't like to talk a lot. And so that's okay for me not to pray as long. So that wasn't really I don't exactly think that's the case, but it was one way of making me feel better about myself. What about you?
Well, there's something I remember, and this came along a little later in life when I had a friend that was working at a Baptist youth camp.
Hold it.
Okay.
We grew up Pentecostal. And so to get something from a Baptist youth camp is quite phenomenal. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So we had gathered around. We had gathered around a campground one night for prayer, and this girl, and I can almost see her. I listened to her prayer, and I don't know if y'all remember, when the word awesome first came popular.
Yeah.
But she was just like, oh God, you're just so awesome, and you're this and that. And I mean, she just talked to God. And I was just kind of blown away. Honestly, I really think it changed my prayer life, to be real honest. And I know that probably sounds really silly, but she just talked to God like he was a friend, like I would talk to you, and I was so used to hearing people pray that what we've talked about, the King James Version prayers.
That's what Jesus talked was King James.
Right. Yeah. Thou and thine and thee and you art and this and that. Well, I didn't talk like that. And, God even understands y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's how we talk.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many times I say y'all to God, but I'm sure I have.
Uh-huh.
But, just that proper prayer, it just isn't me.
Yeah.
And so, and it's okay for people that do.
Yeah, if you grew up in church and that is your language, then go ahead and do the thee and thous and all that. That's great. Yeah, because God understands that.
He does. He does. I think the key is God wants us to just be who we are and be real with Him.
That's it, because He already knows. He
already knows what we're thinking. I mean, the Bible tells us He knows our thoughts. He knows the intents of our heart.
So why not tell Him?
Just be real with Him, I mean, there's been times, Karen, where I've just said, and this isn't fancy, y'all. I've just said, oh, God, help me.
Yeah. Yeah. In the moment.
Yeah. In the moment. And that's, I mean, nobody had to teach me how to say that.
And you didn't feel like you had to reintroduce yourself to God.
No.
Oh, hey, I'm fixing to pray.
Right.
No, it wasn't that. It's an instant connection. Instant line.
Yeah. What were we talking about, Karen? We were talking about flare prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have caught myself saying, oh my God. And it's not the, oh my God. It's not that one.
Yeah.
It's in an instant, in a moment, when something disastrous or something has happened, and I find myself saying, that or something else. And, that's that instant connection with God.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be anything, you don't have to formulate it all into words at that moment, because God knows.
Yeah.
There are times in life when you can't put it into words.
Right.
You don't even know what to say, but that's a whole other.
That's a whole other.
Yeah,
mine's just rolling here, Karen, because I mean, sometimes I've been in a place, and many of you have, where I haven't had the strength to pray for myself.
That's not that long ago.
Yeah. And so to have other people praying for you in those moments, it is very important. And maybe we'll get on that another day. But I was just thinking, Karen, I've had different people tell me, just tell God just how you feel. And now I can tell you, just tell Him how you feel.
I agree.
He can handle your anger.
Yeah.
He can handle, and you know what? I always heard, don't question God. Don't you question God. I have.
Oh, yeah.
I have. And you know what? He was big enough to take it.
Yeah.
I still had the faith in Him. It wasn't that I lost my faith in Him.
No.
It's just, I've questioned some things. Yeah. And He hasn't disowned me for that. No. And so, our anger, our tears, I've screamed. Yeah. I've screamed. And I'm sure a lot of you have too. We face things in this life. And prayer, I'll tell you, I don't know, Karen, what I would have done if I didn't have a Heavenly Father to talk to. I don't know what I would have done. Yeah. And, we all face things in life. And prayer is our communication with God.
Absolutely.
And so, Karen, is there anything else you want to share?
One thing that really helped me when I was a young teenager, I had started just shutting myself in my room every day at some point, and then opening my Bible and, really searching for God. I really wanted to know if God is real, then I want to know who He is. Because we heard stories when we were kids about God did this and God did this and this is now. And I'm like, well, I'm not satisfied with what I'm seeing.
Right.
And so if that's true, then I want to know. And I wasn't going to give up till I had experienced it. And it wasn't that I am or I'm not. It was like, oh no, I am. But how do I get there? And so I remember sitting in my room and I would pretend that Jesus was in the chair and I would talk to Jesus, And here's another thing. I discovered that the Jesus I knew was not always the same person that I heard about from preachers. And so that was kind of pivotal too. I discovered he loves me.
Mm-hmm.
And I discovered that even in my sin, even in the time going through puberty, you know, and you have these, you know, rushes of hormones and stuff, and I discovered God still loves me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get cast aside because I had an impure thought or because of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I discovered, and that was pivotal for me to realize God still loves me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the time I went to the bowling alley and I was still a Christian.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. You know, and it was always the outcast that Jesus was so interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I never fit in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I feel like, you know, Jesus was there for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a young teen, I discovered him very present.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Karen, I find kind of interesting, kind of going along with that is, you know, the Bible tells us that David was a man after God's own heart.
Oh, my goodness.
And I think, I mean, all
There
of the
be times
things
I'll
he
be
did.
like, really?
Right.
I want to read what he said.
Yeah. Had a man murdered for a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
But I think the key was, Karen, is that he was sorrowful after he would do, you know, after he did whatever it was he would do, and he would ask God to forgive him.
Well, when the prophet came to him and said, "Thou art the man," there's that King James again.
Mm-hmm.
He accepted it.
Yeah.
And he realized, yeah. So, yeah. So even in the struggle, if you're struggling in habits and sins, you know, and things that bother you, don't stop praying.
No. And don't think that it never will change.
And don't try to hide it from God.
Right.
And don't tell everybody else about your sin because they can't be trusted.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't. I mean, there may be one person that you trust, but anyway, take it to God.
Right.
And over and over and over and over if you have to.
Right.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because prayer is important.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and it does change you.
It does. It does.
So, are we good with our first?
We're good.
Okay.
Yes. Thank y'all for being with us today. And we've got more to come. So y'all come back next week.